Greetings and salutations. My name is Jesse Anthony Henry. I'm here through the hospitality of Akbar Center for the Arts, located in Westchester County, Mount Vernon, New York. Again, through the gracious hospitality of their board of directors. I've been asked by the art historian and great photographer Ted Jenkins to explain some of my work. At the moment, I'm standing in front of 3 pieces, a series I did dealing with homemade paper. I make paper. It's a technique I learned at the College of New Rochelle while receiving my Master's of Fine Arts degree. This technique involved me using my pants, dungarees, denim material. In that process, I don't want to get into the process of it, but you can Google that up, how you make homemade paper. This series is a triptych dealing with the New Jerusalem. We're talking about a time after the bomb, after Armageddon, or if these nuts do their thing and try to take away the planet, we'll be sure that we will survive, we will come back greener than ever. And thank you. This is a painting I did of the great cornetist, Charles Joseph Buddy Bolden. He was called King Buddy Bolden. He was born, I think, September the 6th, I believe, September the 6th, yes, in 1877. Died November the 4th, 1931. King Charles Buddy Bolden, he's regarded as a key figure in the development of the music. The music I'm talking about, what people refer to as that word jazz. Jazz, when the masters who create the music refer to the music, they never called it jazz. For the most part, they called it the music, because that's what it was. That word jazz, spelled J-A-S-S, was regarded, it meant the act of going to a brothel. Jazz his sister up or jazz it up. Sometimes the madam would tell the professor downstairs who was playing the music, if the patrons took too long, jazz it up, speed it up. And it also, again, was synonymous with the act of having a good time. Therefore, the creators of the music, these people who created America's only true art form, didn't call it that, they called it what it was called the music. King Charles Buddy Bolden had a magnificent band. They are, again, the key figures of that music called ragtime. And he was a cornetist, as I said before. The technique I use is dealing with a brush. A lot of geometric figures, geometric shapes that are in the painting. It's all on canvas. I put sand into the canvas as well. And I couldn't paint, my influences is dealing with the music, also religion, and just general ideas of positive spiritual vibrations. And it's all included and depicted in the painting of, again, a master of the music. I was going to say he's the only one not wearing a tie, actually, but most of these cats got on ties. He has a pyramid over his head, or that diamond type figure over his head. That's my crown. The great painter Jean-Michel Basquiat would put crowns, if you notice on his paintings, to represent that greatness that these people, these African Americans had, these spirits have. Instead of using that crown attitude, I would put the pyramid over their heads. This painting behind me now is called, again, it's on oil on canvas. This painting is called Yardbird and the Sorcerer. It's a depiction of Charles Christian Parker Jr. His nickname was Yardbird, and Miles Dewey Davis. Miles Dewey Davis, I had many nicknames. One was the Prince of Darkness and the Sorcerer. So I kind of like that name better, Sorcerer. It makes sense when you study these particular gentlemen. Charles Yardbird Parker, Yardbird, came, let's get that name Yardbird. I believe, yeah, he was driving, him and his band, because of racism in America at the time. He was driving in the South. They couldn't stay in the hotels again. The Jim Crow laws, so they stayed in people's houses. The musicians was traveling with, they hit a chicken. Yardbird, Charlie Parker, jumped out, grabbed the chicken, as legend would have it, and took the chicken over to the house where he was staying, and asked the lady, could you please prepare this Yardbird for me? The lady said, well, sure, why, of course. I heard the story from Jay McShann, actually. And what she did is she cooked the chicken for him, hence the name Yardbird stuck. Shortened the bird flew. There's several birds in the painting. Not original. I got the idea from a book of African designs and motifs, some of them hummingbirds, some of them from my head, of course, but again, these two in particular came straight from the book of African motifs, West African drawings of birds. His music was characterized by fast tempos, magnificent, virtuous technique. The technique was out of this world. Just moving, bebop. His contemporary or his counterpart or even his constituent, Miles Dewey Davis, who learned a great deal from Bird at the time, is also a band leader in his own right. Miles Davis's music is, well, he's a leading figure in the forefront of bebop, hard bop, modal jazz. That word, I don't like saying that word jazz, but let me just make it simple for you to dig. Jazz fusion, well, Miles stands on his own, and he's a figure that greatly influenced me. Again, the complexity of my work is dealing with geometric shapes, forms, and figures. Bright colors, intense colors that shine on African American people, Africans in general. I was reminded, because I had failed to recall to discuss where I went to school. I was reminded by one of the board of directors of the Akbar Gallery, Center for the Arts, Salim Sullivan, turned me on to talk about where you went to school and your training. Well, I went to a historically black university, Howard University in Washington, D.C. And at the time in Washington, D.C., I was learning to paint. I had the pleasure and privilege of joining becoming a member of an organization called Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, which has a lot of cats that I'm sure you know. I don't want to name drop. I'll do it anyway. Paul Robeson, Dick Gregory, Duke Ellington, Martin Luther King. There's several people who did great things for America and are still doing great things for America. And that's why it's such a privilege and an honor to become a member of this great organization. Well, I was pledging a fraternity. I pledged with 12 other gentlemen. There was 13 of us all together, trying to get into the organization at the same time. We all successfully crossed into the organization. So this is my homage to those people I pledged with. It's my self-portrait, a 19-year-old Jesse Anthony Henry. While studying to learn the history of the organization, I got into Egyptology. Alpha Alpha is heavy into Egyptology, and it led to one thing to another, which again kept me focused with Africa and what I was trying to do in terms of bringing that energy, ancient to the future, through my paintings. Again, it's the oil on canvas, just like the other ones. All my work is mainly oil on canvas. Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of Egyptian motif in the painting. I paint real thick, and I think it's a beautiful painting. We're now standing in front of the painting of Mahalia Jackson, great gospel singer. She's regarded as the queen of gospel music. The political activist, composer, actor, musician, artist, Harry Belafonte calls her, and I called her the most powerful woman in America at one time. Mahalia Jackson's nickname was Hallie. The name of the painting is called Hallie Stirring Our Souls with the Gospel. I'm impressed with her work. I'm impressed with her voice. I'm impressed with her attitude, how she made sure America became one, or actually internationally tried to put this music on the map, which she did. And again, it's all on canvas. She was born on October 26, 1911. And just as powerful today her music is as it was when she was younger. She had a magnificent, powerful concerto voice. The scientific terminology for concerto voice would be the notes between F and middle C. So she had magnificent range as well. We're standing now in front of the painting, Mary Lou, Stirring Our Souls with the Boogie Woogie. It's a depiction of Mary Lou Williams, the great composer, band leader, trendsetter, magnificent, again, political activist, Mary Lou Williams, and she's getting down. It's all on canvas. I particularly like the painting. Well, what can we say? Again, I'm using a lot of African motif. I kind of did it the hard way, which I don't really recommend people doing it. What I did is I drew everything first, and I painted each little star on a dress one at a time, and then I filled in the background of a dress, which is kind of nuts to do it that way, so I don't recommend you do it that way, but this is the way we did it, and the way I did it. Again, we have those zigzags in the work. Those zigzags are snakes, as Afro-Cobra pushed me to develop. Those snakes is on. Again, I'm very influenced by the Botswana, South Africa's work. And you gotta paint.
Reflection of the mirror.
Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah, well, you know, it's a reflection of Mary Lou in the background. This is Mary Lou looking at some of the patrons who listen to her music. Woman's fly, red pump over in the corner. Smile turns me on. I dig the painting. Mary Lou is stirring our souls with the boogie woogie. Which brings us to Anita Ruth, Living Space, John Coltrane, and Alice Coltrane. Alice is playing the harp. John Coltrane is playing the saxophone. Living Space, very powerful piece for me. James Phillips, again, one of my professors, saw the painting and he said, hey, better use a ruler. His contemporary and colleague, Wadsworth Gerald, said, don't use a ruler. So where do you go from there? You know what I'm saying? Two cats who's really influenced me a great deal with their work and really mentored me. So what do you do? So I had to make that transition and do what I thought was best, and here I am today. Sometimes I use a ruler, sometimes I don't. Most times I do use a ruler. But anyway, we're dealing with that energy that Train has. That has still. Train, like I know him personally, John Coltrane. If you study the music of John Coltrane, you'll know that he's cosmic, interstellar, beautiful living force, magnificent healing force for the nation. And as John Coltrane said, I kind of cop that attitude and style with my own energies. I want to be a force for good. And when you listen to the music of John Coltrane, you'll understand what I'm talking about. It could be turned upside down, right side up, sideways, whatever, and it still works. Thank you. We're standing in front of the painting, The Hurricane. It's a painting of, again, another mentor of mine, Henry Preston Warner. Henry Warner is a magnificent composer, band leader, musician. Plays the reeds, alto clarinet, bass clarinet, soprano saxophone, tenor saxophone, alto saxophone, C melody, reeds period. Henry Warner taught me how to transpose music. His music is ancient to the future, traditionalist, is dealing with the hard bop, bebop, classical music, the avant-garde, space is the place. He's a major force in the forefront of this music, the New York scene. Can't say enough about this master musician, and that's why I had to paint him. I'm very proud to be associated with this gentleman, magnificent artist. Thank you.